Now, the next topic here is range. Very simple. By range, in general, what we say, from what range to what range something varies, right? For example, if a cost of certain thing is there, if I want to purchase a car, then what is the range from where it varies? That means from what lowest value to what highest value it can go. But here when we are talking about range, we are talking about the difference between the highest observation and the lowest observation. For example, if we take, we'll represent it like the value of the largest observation, subtract it, then the value of the smallest observation in this case. So let's take an example. If the height of 5 students are this respectively, then what is the largest value here? We can see the largest is 6.2 feet and the smallest value here is 4.6 feet. So we'll do range is highest observation minus the lowest observation, and when you subtract, you will get the value as 1.6. So what is the range for this set of observation? It is 1.6 feet. We have to write the unit as well. Now the next thing in the segment is mode. Now what do you understand by mode of a set of observation? Very simply, if we say, then mode is the observation which occurs maximum number of time. Now something which occurs maximum number of time, the number of times it is called as the frequency of that observation. A new word is there, frequency. So how many times an observation is occurring, that is frequency. So we can say the second measure of the central tendency is mode, which is used to represent the whole data. Now here in this case, it is defined to be that number which occurs most often in a given data. That means which occurs the maximum number of times. So we can take an example like weight of 10 oranges collected in a farm. If they are given as these, then what is the mode of the data? So we have to see here which number is occurring maximum number of times. So here first we have to arrange the weight in ascending order or in descending order. Then we find, let's arrange them in ascending order. Now all these numbers are here arranged and we see here that 40 grams is repeating 2 times, right? It is twice repeated in this particular question. So what is the mode of the data? It will be 40 grams. So the weight which occurs the maximum number of times in the series is 40 grams, and so we say the mode is 40 gram here. Now let us see certain rules which are to be followed to calculate mode and one more measure of central tendency, that is median. For that also we require certain rules. So let us see, first of all, what we have to do is we have to count the number of times various values repeat themselves. Okay, then find the value which occurs the maximum number of time, and the value which occur maximum time is called as the mode of the data, right? So I hope the calculation of mode is the simplest one to find among all the representative values for the central tendency. So now the next thing is, if the data is very large. In the previous question the data was very small. So out of 10 or out of 5 things, it is very simple that we can find out what is the mode. But what if the data is a very large one? In that case, again the very first thing is we have to put them in a tabular form, right? And then we begin by putting them for a tally marks for each of the data, and then we find the frequency for it. Now what is tally marks? Suppose we are writing anything and somebody is speaking, somebody is dictating it to us. So when we are cross checking it, that is simply we are telling the thing with the other person. But what if we are alone doing it? So we are writing some marks for that data, right? And that mark is called as a tally mark. It has nothing to do with the marks of any subject or anything. It is a mark, a symbol that you are writing just to confirm whether that number is written, whether in the table or not. So now, suppose we make a survey of 20 families of a locality and find out the number of children in each family. So there should be some data which is collected. So first step will be to collect the data. Then we have to organize the data, right, in a tabular form. So let the observations be in this case these. Now for these 20 families, you have to find the mode of the data. How can I find mode? That means whether there are more families with 1 number of children or 2 number of children or 3 number of children. So in this case, we have to write a table form. I think this is now very clear from this. Now how to start writing this particular thing? Let's begin with it. Now here, for every number, we have to put a mark. Like, if it is number 2 first, then I have to put a mark, this one, for 2. Second, one more time 2 is repeated, so I will mark a one more time 2 here. Next number in the series is 3, so I'll put a mark on 3. Then it is 1, I'll put a mark on 1. Again 1, again, then 2, then 3, then again 2 and 2, so 2, one more time 2 is repeated. Now what has to be done? While marking the tally mark, we have to put a cross on every 5th repetition. That means now 2 is repeated 5th time. See, 1, 2, 3, 4 and now it is coming the 5th time. So we will cross it. Now this is a bunch of 5 repetitions of 2 number. Now let's proceed. Number 1, so we put again 1. Then we have 2, so again we will put one more time 2. Then one more time 2, okay. Then 3, so again one more time 3. Then 1, 2, so 1 and 2. Then we have 1 and 1. Now 5th time 1 is repeating, so we will cross it. 5th time 1 and 6th time 1 also. Then we have 3, 2 and 2. So we have 3, we have 2 and one more time 2 is there, so we will cross it. Now just count how many bars we have drawn. So it is what you are looking at the table here, okay. So see, this 5 bunch is repeated here, okay, and this single number is here by this white bar. In all, we can say there are 5 plus 1, that is total 6 number of families. Similarly, for 2 I can say 5 and 5, that means 10. So it is represented by this 5 and this 5. You can see this 10 over here. Next, you can see a number repetition 4 times. So what is the frequency? The frequency of the data is 4. And now what you have to do is just check the total number of frequencies here. So 10 plus 6 plus 4, you will get 20. And remember how many families we have put on survey? There were 20 families and there are 20 such observations. So remember one thing, the sum of all these things, that is the total of all the frequencies, is the number of observations in the given set always. If there are 20 observations, the sum of the numbers here, the sum of all the frequencies here should be 20. So drawing a tally mark table and how to find a mode of it. Now let's check which is the highest frequency here. We can easily see this, that the frequency is 10. But will 10 be the mode here? No, 10 won't be the mode. Actually, the number which corresponds in the question to the number frequency 10 will be the mode. So 10 represents for 2. That means there are maximum number of families which have 2 children. So mode of the set of observation is 2. Remember one thing, the mode of the data is from this particular set only here. It cannot be outside the set of observation. It will always be from the set of observations which is given to us. Now we see here 2 is repeated the maximum number of times, that is 10 times it is repeating. So 2 is the mode here. Now the next set here is, you can try this question to find the mode of the following numbers. Just keep practicing and find the mode for this data.